Yeah, I know what it is, folks. Lucas and Niger back covering Power, and this time we're back for season 2 of Power Book 4 Force, kicking it off with episode 1 of the season premiere here tonight, titled Tommy's Back. Before we get into it, obviously it's been a while since y'all seen us linking up doing what we do. The content hasn't stopped it here at Big O Belt Media, but me and Lucas haven't kicked it in a while in this capacity. So, good sir, Uncle Lou, the fans love you. How you been?
Oh man, it's been crazy. And just like that, Power's back. This is craziness, man.
They love that catch line. They might start thinking that's actually your phrase too, you know.
hey, look. If they do, I'm start getting shirts made that say that, Joe. So I can capitalize off of this.
Hey, we appreciate the love of not only just our Power family, but just the folks here. All the love for Big O Belt Media. Y'all have been killing it with the recaps for and just like that season 2, showing Lucas and the lovely, luxurious Amaya Desire each and every episode. But y'all know what it is. We got the Power, man. And again, it's Power Before Force season 2. And things are a little bit different this year. And I definitely want to get some announcements off my chest before we get started. Yes, we all are aware of the strikes, which means that and while we stand in solidarity of the actors, and you know I love my Power writers, so you know for sure I want to make sure we give them a shout out. There won't be any interviews in the capacity like we do them each and every year. Typically we have guests weekly, or we have the big junket presence beforehand with all the cast members, and it's a little bit different this year. But with that being said, we started to say, well, what are we gonna do? How are we going to get the fans what we want? So here is what the plan's going to be, folks. Y'all should know by now, we check out these episodes. We got that recap for you immediately after the episode is released, an hour after the episode release. That way you get a chance to watch it and jump right over here. And we monitor the chat. We'll be in there interacting with you all there. We have another show coming for you all each and every week. We will have a live show with special guests, other content creators, other critics, other journalists, some of your other favorite folks who cover Power will be joining us each and every week to interact with you all live, to also further break down these episodes. So expect that content on the way. We're very excited. I know who's coming up week 1. I'm not even going to even tell y'all who's coming up this week for the first one, but it's okay. It's all good. You'll see when we go live. So just stay tuned here at Big O Belt Media, and you will see when that announcement in terms of scheduling and all that is there for you. Still working out a little bit of the logistics with that. So stay tuned for that. And if y'all got any other suggestions, comments, feedbacks, let us know. This is episode 1. We're just getting started this season, so we would love to hear from you all. We would love to know what type of content y'all want, and we'll make sure we provide that for you all. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into tonight's episode here. And we're starting off much like how we started off with season 1, a little difference, but I think the element is still the same. And that's Tommy pretty much grieving. He has this weird way of showing it, but it is what it is. He is grieving, and it's time for Liliana, who honestly, I missed the character too. And I'm obviously, I think I'm most optimistic in terms of how they're gonna fill that void this season. That was a character that really came out of nowhere. People love like the callback to Liliana, and then she just grew with us each and every episode. And so her death, which I hated because I just didn't want it to happen, now to me is a complete void in terms of characters this season. So I'm interested how they're going to handle it. But just to kick it off to you, man, because I've been talking my ass off here. Starting off this episode, seeing Tommy going through what he's going through, seeking revenge for Liliana. What is your thoughts about, 1, the void of Liliana, and 2, the motivation behind Tommy seeking this revenge here?
Well, first, I didn't expect to hear from Ghost Liliana. This so soon in the season. For her to be speaking to Tommy from the grave already. Like that was wild. Oh, the moment I heard her voice, Tommy, and he looking, huh? I said, oh, not Ghost Liliana. So that was a bit wild. As for the void of her, I think this episode kind of hints to a person that can possibly fill that void. I mean, once she stops getting her butt slapped and kissed by random other white men in hospitals, I think that we may have the person who's going to help fill that void, and not necessarily be the second to Tommy as much as just that character that helps ground Tommy, because that's what Liliana was. She was a character that helped ground Tommy, because Tommy's wild, and you need a character that helps focus and ground him. And you bring out those elements of emotion that we're not accustomed to seeing from Tommy, besides when he's with women. So he kind of needs that grounding. And I think that's the character that's going to help attempt to fill that void. Granted, this is an extremely strong character from season 1. And it's going to be hard to fill that void, because I think it was one of the most crushing deaths in Power so early to happen for a show. And when it did, it kind of left you wondering, like, well, one, where does it focus Tommy at? Because she was Tommy's number 2. Like, she was a fan favorite. How do you fill that void? I think they laid the groundwork to attempt to fill that void, but Ghost Liliana, if we get more Ghost Liliana, I'm all for it.
Same.
All for it. If she shows up in a white flowing gown and just whispers to Tommy, I'm all for it at this point.
I have a couple of thoughts here, and I strongly agree with you. Besides the fact that this other character you're talking about, MIREYA, spelled MIREYA, first time I've ever seen it spelled that way. To me, she just comes off as just another love interest for Tommy, and certainly you look at her, it's like, oh yeah, well, she's like Gloria a little bit, or you go back to some of the other posts, Lakeisha, whatever.
They're gonna use the doctor angle. They're gonna use who her brother is as an angle. They're gonna use like, she knows the game because she's been around it her whole life. I'm just waiting to the point where we talk about that. Like,
I mean, so
people because of the game, and I don't want to be around someone who's like my brother. He said, I'm different. I'm just, you know how Tommy gets. Like, we know the path this is going to go down.
Right. There's some contradictions. There's a lot I want to talk about real quick, but I will say this: like, Liliana is such a strong character, and I think they did a really good job in writing this character. And I think we respected what Liliana brought. Not only just the performance to the show, but what the character brings to the storyline. I think we respected her in that capacity. Obviously, we love that this is a character that has ties in the past, so you love the connectability here. But if I may make a hot take real quick, much like Tommy said that he respected Liliana because they were kind of cut from the same cloth. He's like, man, listen, you're like somebody I can respect. Like, you're a real criminal. You're a drug dealer too. Like, I mess with that. I think when you talk about grounding Tommy, I think having Diamond and Liliana in his corner made up for Ghost's absence. I think they're the combination of what Ghost represented to him. The brotherhood, the guy that was street smart, but also knew how to cut it off when he needed to. And Liliana, who just knew the game and basically was like Tommy, that had that killer instinct, but also knew how to cut it off, which again, kind of is similar to Ghost in terms of business smart, street smart, can cut it on when he need to, can cut it off when he has to. And I think the two of them in this corner is what made Tommy feel like regular Tommy towards the end of the show. It's a weird coincidence that it worked out this way, but it did. Now, with Liliana gone, I'm like, okay, it ain't but long before he's going to be ticking time bomb Tommy again. Like, it's
the family dynamic that I think is going to ground him.
True.
First.
That is new.
Yeah. D-Mac especially. Come on, he called him in this episode. Like, he's getting grounded this episode.
And let's go right to that. What's your thoughts about Kate, D-Mac? Just now, this presence of family that Tommy has never had.
I swear, Kate finds a way to embrace black men more than Tommy. every time. D-Mac is her new ghost. Like, as Tommy's watching, he said, man, she's good with him. And Tommy's like, I wish she was that way with me. It's literally the same thing he said with ghosting her. Like,
Yeah.
I wish she was that way with me.
Yeah.
I think it's still realistic in the depiction that parents, even bad ones, attempt to make up everything through the next generation.
All the time.
This is her way of attempting to correct what she did to Tommy and, damn it,
JP.
I was thinking JP, and I'm like, nah, that don't sound right.
JP.
JP and Tommy for abandoning JP and clearly being the worst mother humanly possible to Tommy. She sees her grandchild as a way to make up for that. And I think that's what we're seeing here. Down to Tommy offering Kate drugs and her saying, I'm off that. I'm not doing that anymore. Like, maybe we get a completely different Kate in this season.
Let's make a prediction there.
Hey, look, maybe after her meeting with Tariq at the end of Ghost Power, maybe she turned a corner, and maybe this is the beginning of showing that she's completely turned a corner. Because if she becomes the support system that Tommy needs, he doesn't need anyone else. Because Kate is always the love he's been searching for. So if she fully becomes that support system for him, I think we get a completely different Tommy. Because that's an angle that no one saw coming.
Just side note here. Last time we seen Kate was in Power Book 2 Ghost.
Yeah.
Also, last time we seen Tommy as well, recently. I don't know. Where's that companion piece of Kate and Tommy in the Mustang riding to Chicago? Because that's the show I need. I need to see that 20 to 30 minute reel of the two of them just going back and forth at each other for their commute from from New York to Chicago.
But would they have commuted together? Because remember, while Kate knew the information, she wasn't with Tommy.
No doubt. I mean, but it could have been a thing. I just could imagine how wild that could be just to have those two. Listen, if this was the pandemic, they would absolutely have pulled a Euphoria episode of just having them two just in the car doing the drive and just putting something out.
Yeah, because you're gonna have to explain how did Kate get to Chicago.
Yeah, exactly.
Needs to be explained because clearly she was just not in Chicago.
Or she had the Tariq jetpack. Or Tariq loaned her the jetpack.
Tariq drove her there. Tariq drove her there. After he left, he drove her there.
So I'm not going to spend too much time, but obviously we know that the feds are on to Tommy. They use this analogy of saying he's like a ghost. Keyword, buzzword, ghost.
Using that, I swear.
Of course. And I think that I think, at this point now, you just have to put it in the show. But also to kind of go towards the end of the episode, Tommy also made it very clear that he's not a ghost. In other words, he's not Ghost. And this is the other underlying theme with Tommy is he's always been that secondary person. And when you talk about the folks that's been around him, whether it was Gloria, whether it was Liliana, that pretty much told him, go get it. You can do this. Go get it. That ultimate motivation. And I think it's really cool within the writing for the audience, because it's definitely towards Tommy, ain't towards Joseph. It's towards the audience, the fans that listen, this ain't Ghost. This is Tommy, which is why the episode's Tommy back. They're making it very clear that this is the story about Tommy going out to go get his own. So I really love how they kind of massage that in within the script here. But another person who's kind of dealing with his grieving is Vic. What's your thoughts about Vic at this point now? Taking it with the bottle and obviously taking it very hard because of
what was Vic drinking? That's what I was trying. I literally was looking like, what is he drinking? Branson? Like, that ain't something you should drink that way. Like, I mean, we had Branson before. That is not a drink like that. So I was like, okay, but it clearly he's mourning Gloria and he's mourning her loss.
Yeah,
it's still kind of odd because of everything that happened between Gloria and Tommy and him. That would be the big thing for him. But just to see him so lost in this episode, was for me a tad confusing because we always knew he was the softer of the children.
Yeah.
But I would have thought after her death and him knowing how she died, that it would help refocus him.
Mm-hmm.
And him turn against his dad. Like, nah, I know what you did. Like, and I'm going to get vengeance because of you did this. But instead, he goes and sulks like a little kid. It threw me off. But from a storytelling standpoint, I fully understand why they did it. Because it literally shows the hierarchy of the family. Even though his father took the love of his life away, he's never going to turn against him.
Yeah.
And this is that Vic being lost and him attempting to discover himself all over again without the love of his life. And his dad knows it, his sister knows it, and that's why I'm not going to say they're there for him as much as they feel this is an opportunity to use him.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because that's also what it felt like here.
Yeah. No doubt. And they're going to have to give me more with Vic besides him just being a sad puppy. Which I'm glad they're just getting that out the way now because I don't feel like that's going to be a theme that they can carry out. But we obviously, there's some other things that come out with Vic with this episode. I just want to go back because, we got to show love to our guy, Phil Donlin, who's Simon McDougal, has a quick cameo in the back when they got the board across the organization as they iron in on Tommy and realize that Tommy is the centerpiece of everything. That's going to be up for debate for me if Tommy is truly the center of operations. Like, I get for show purposes, but I'm like, not sure if I'm buying that. Anyway, the brothers, we have Diamond and Jenard, who, as we know by the conclusion of last season, they don't fuck with each other. And
clearly,
now things have to be split. You have Diamond still running CBI, and then you have Jenard's crew, the Treasons. What is your thoughts about the brothers and how they're going about this? And do you think there's any way of reconciliation here, or what's your thoughts?
You would hope so. In the end, like you would hope so. Like, dude, in the end, you are brothers. Like, we understand it. We brought it up last season that we felt the disconnect once Diamond came back.
Yeah.
After Jenard had been running this organization, and I always knew it was going to be an issue because of that. But for it to splinter this way is still very interesting because Jenard did as much dirty stuff in season 1 as humanly possible. But it's still amazingly because Diamond's the older brother. I would have just assumed like he would be the one to be like, yeah, we not fucking with him, but I don't want anything done to him. That's what was missing from me with Diamond this episode is him saying, I don't fuck with my brother, but that don't mean any of you can touch him.
Yeah.
Because you would expect that for brothers. I don't have to fuck with you for anyone else to be able to do anything to you.
Yeah. And
that's not what we're getting here. What we're getting here instead is Jenard struggling to meet payroll.
Yeah.
and Diamond literally feeling like he has fully embraced being Tommy's second.
Yeah, let's
that is crazy to me.
Yeah, let me throw some other things at you because you're right. There's a lot to really making these quick scenes of the two brothers and their organizations. Obviously, we see that we have 90% buy-in from each of their respective crews, where we seem to have a couple of folks that are just giving shady vibes. We have a particular person, Chewy, who we seen what happened to him, but to me, it seems like internally both crews have folks that may not fully be on board. Yes, we can kind of cheat ahead a little bit here. Diamond and Tommy, who are officially partners now in CBI, are thriving. Jenard is out here selling wolf tickets, getting a loan from a chick, which we'll talk about. And honestly, kind of look like a deer in the headlights at times, as if he has no clue what he's doing, which is interesting because this is the person who ran CBI when Diamond was gone. So to me, he's either head over his heels in terms of operating the business or something very internally messed up. What do you kind of really dissect in this now? What is happening with Jenard now?
Let me put on a hat that I ain't had to put on in a minute.
Oh, here they go. And the comments go crazy.
It's easy to be a leader of an organization where your second or brother or partner is respected by everybody. Diamond was the head man. No one's going to question when Jenard takes over when Diamond goes away. But now that they have separated and it's all on Jenard, respect tends to go away a little bit because my guy, like you led us. Yeah, you was the guy who we depended on, but we did it because of the work that your brother put in. Now you're a man and you got to stand on your own, and you're struggling to stand on your own. And understand, folks in the streets know when you're struggling. We know when you ain't moving the weight that you should be moving. We know that the money ain't flowing like it should be flowing, and yet we still now you have a completely different part of the organization who they giving out bricks for at a discount. You don't think that's getting back to them? Like, dog, like you're looking extremely weak in the streets to everyone else because you're not flourishing like your brother. So it makes people think, was it Diamond the whole time or was it you? Were you following orders from prison on how to run this shit? And that's why Jenard looks so lost at times, because he's just trying to figure out what to do next.
Yeah. Because
it's a chance that all he did was follow Diamond's blueprint.
Yeah.
Like once it's laid out in front of you, anybody can do that. But damn it, when you got to take over the team, when you got to become the lead scorer, it's completely different than when you're just filling in for the dude until he get back from injury.
Yeah.
And that's what this is with Jenard.
Yeah, good analogy. I always say it in football, it is football season, that there is a lot of fantastic players coming out of the slot. But when you put them in the X position,
exactly
the same way. And no, there's a lot of folks that aren't built that way. And it's still weird to me how teams pick up players. I never forget when Wes Welker went to, I think, Miami, and they started.
He was in Miami at first, and then he was in Miami at first.
Where did he leave?
You talking about Danny? You talking about Danny Amendola?
Yeah,
who left the Patriots and went to Miami, and they tried. But I'll give you, like, yeah, that was fucking hilarious. But I'll give you a better analogy for football for people to understand the dynamic we're talking about between Jenard and Diamond. Anyone who's a football fan remembers when Nnamdi Asomugha was in Oakland.
Yeah,
and he was a shutdown corner, but he was always a shutdown corner on one side of the field.
He went to the Eagles,
they paid him lots of money, and they moved him as the primary person.
Yeah,
he couldn't stop a soul because the blueprint wasn't there for him anymore. Once you take that blueprint away from people, you kind of get to see the man that they are. You get to see the way they run a business. You get to, because drug game is nothing but a business.
Yeah,
and Jenard ain't been the smartest person ever.
Yeah,
but everything was already laid out. He took over when everything was already in place.
Yeah,
baby, all I got to do is make sure the ship doesn't sink.
Yeah,
but damn it, when somebody gives me a new ship and I got to start working that new ship, which is what happens when him and Diamond separated. Now he's trying to figure out how do I even get this motherfucker going, and that's his problem here.
And I also think, also cheating a little bit ahead later on this episode here. When we get introduced to this new Latino organization group, and we meet Miguel. Miguel was visited by the brothers, and if you paid close attention about how these meetings went, drastically different. Diamond rose up with his second in command, who's black, who must be known, and they said, "Nah, he stays outside." Diamond comes in.
Jenard. When
Jenard. Diamond rose up with a white boy who no one's seen and is allowed. Not only is he allowed in, but the boss, Miguel, comes out to meet them. It just tells you that the power and the weight that Diamond has and respect that he commands, even though he's not even asking for it. Diamond's like a humble boss. Like, he just doing what he does. He's not worried about it. Jenard is flashy and wants the whole red carpet laid out for him, but you know, they always say the loudest person in the room, and you know how that one goes.
Hey, Jenard is Dame Dash and Diamond is Jay-Z.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
What Lil Wayne said, real G's move in silence like lasagna. It's one of the realest lines ever for people to fully understand what he meant by that shit. That's a hell of a line, Joe. And that's the difference between the two, because Diamond is extremely quiet.
Yeah.
He's just about business. Jenard is flashy.
Yeah.
Even down to the situation with the Serbs that we're going to get into later with Jenard. Same exact thing. He's just a flashy dude.
Yeah.
And Diamond isn't. Diamond is just about business.
Yeah.
What makes business make sense. That's all Diamond's about. Jenard is, how can I ring the most bells? What can I do to get niggas understanding that I run this shit?
Yeah.
Because he's still trying to prove himself to not only Diamond, but to himself. He still has to prove, like, nah, I can do this. Like, nah, dog. The deal he made with Chewy, am I saying his name right? The little dude?
Mm-hmm.
The deal he made, 500 off of it? Are you fucking kidding me? Tommy had already given him a discount. And you gave a discount on top of a discount. Nigga, you out this joint operating like Kmart. Kmart out of business. Brother, you can't beat Walmart prices by going lower. Nah, you killing the profit. At that point, you might as well be you selling that shit to him wholesale. You damn right I'm gonna take the deal if you selling to me wholesale, because both of y'all buying from the same supplier. So I even found it interesting when Tommy said, man, our shit is not stepped on like that other shit. So that means Jenard is buying it, stepping on it, and then reselling it.
Yep.
Come on now. I can step on myself and make more money. That's what I'm okay. I don't need you to step on it.
Let's go to the next scene with one of my favorite characters, and y'all already know who it is. Walter Flynn, played by the amazing Tommy Flanagan, and we see him in a position that I knew was coming. I knew it was coming. Besides his health, is his health okay? Because that wasn't a factor at all this episode. That was a whole thing last season. Guess he good, huh?
Cancer all gone, Joe.
Yeah,
he in remission out this jump.
I mean, like, two things I was looking for in terms of with Walter is, like, I was seeing what was up with his health and how that was going to play a part. And I also was wondering what was going to happen with Paulie, who is his second in command with his son, which was a thing that we knew was going to come about. But Paulie's been the one keeping it 100 with him the entire time, saying, like, listen, bro, if Dublin gets involved, it ain't going to be a good look. And, well, we are seeing the results of that. And we have a character in Brendan Doyle is having a one-on-one with I'm about to say with Tommy here, with Walter here. What's your thoughts about this very interesting meeting amongst the two here?
It was a power play. It wasn't a meeting. It was a strict power play. I love the point at the end when Walter said, "What is about loyalty and honor?" And he said, "No, you had all that with my father,
with my dad. Yeah,
I'm not my father." Like, this was a complete power play to let Walter understand, like, you fucked up. I sent you shooters and none of them returned. Who do you think is going to get blamed for this? It's you.
Yeah.
Is your business that bad that 4 of my hitters are no longer here?
Yeah.
What's going on here? Why is Tommy such a threat to you? Like, it made Walter come across as weak. And it's something that Paulie was warning him about. This is why he said, don't get doubling involved. Once they get involved in everything and they go into your business, they can perceive like you're struggling to even maintain everything. And that's why Walter seems so lost in this episode. It's weird. Him and Vic, literally, they're mirrors of each other in this episode for different reasons, of course, but one is losing his business, one lost the love of his life, and neither one of them understand how to rebound.
Well, yeah, no, Walter's not only losing his business, but it's losing respect. And as we said last season, we said when Devlin finds out that there is a hole in their system, when their folks don't come back, it ain't only going to be a problem, but it's going to be a vacuum within the power line, and they're going to come over and say, "We'll take care of this. We'll take care of whatever your problem is and our problem, which is you, and just wipe everybody off the board." This character Brendan comes off to me like a what do you call those folks? When you hire folks to kind of do like observation about your business. I can't think of the name of it right now.
Consultant?
Yeah, like a consultant firm. He's coming over.
Like Don Cheadle. What's the Showtime show?
Yes, exactly.
Oh shit! Oh, I can't remember the name of the Showtime show.
So he's writing
I'm back. Yeah,
he's writing this report right now, and just know things ain't gonna look good when he goes back home with it.
Your business not booming, my guy. Like these are the problems.
And then
fix it for you.
And then just as Paulie says later in the episode, sir, your books ain't mathing right now.
Your books ain't booking.
So yeah, so we got a problem here. Like you're promising money to eliminate a threat. Cash flow ain't moving.
But I thought it was way more interesting that he literally has an out. When Paulie says, just talk to them, tell them like you're not gonna, and he's like, I don't want to come across as weak to them. They would love for me to do that.
Too late. Yeah. And I think there is a level of ego here too, because Paulie did say, "Well, sell your assets," and he says, "No, I will not." And it's just like Monopoly. Folks scared to let those hotels go.
Look at if Billy Porter can be out this show selling assets to survive, Walter, you can let them Jones go. It is okay.
Yeah, you tuck that pride in there, sir. What show are you talking about with Don Cheadle? I'm like, what are you talking about? House of Lies?
Body of Lies? House of Lies. Yes.
Yeah.
He played the consultant firm.
Yeah. I just kept thinking House of Cards. I'm like, no, he's not in the House of Cards. House of Lies. Yeah.
House of Lies. Yeah, that was my shit.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see. And you know another thing, the siblings are already looking at Walter in terms of having everything under control, and they have already had their issues about how he handles the business. Once they figure out that he's not even viewed as being in control, that he is viewed weak, that his money's messed up, I think we're going to see Claudia turn a different light towards him, and maybe Vic may even try his hand.
I think it's going to be Vic before anyone else. I think Vic is going to be the challenge for Walter, because we already know Claudia can't be a challenge for Walter because Dublin doesn't respect women. Like, they can fuck about Claudia. You can do whatever you want to do, but it's Vic that can become an issue for Walter.
Yeah,
because he could pull a power play and be like, my dad couldn't run it, but I can, because I think Vic would open up deals that Walter wasn't willing to do. We already know Walter's not willing to dabble in the drugs, really.
Yeah.
Vic will be all in for it.
Yeah. I'm trying to see what Vic is drinking, and I have no clue.
Hey, dude, I've not seen. It was a bottle of brandy that I bought. They cost like $150, and it looked very similar to that bottle of brandy. That bottle of brandy was disgusting. I don't know anyone that would drink it the way Vic was drinking it, though.
Yeah, I mean,
and it wasn't a bottle of Casamigos. So I don't know. That damn sure wasn't Castor Azul.
Nah, it's definitely some whiskey.
It's definitely a whiskey. Yeah, it's definitely a whiskey.
Yeah,
it ain't Uncle Nearest. Come on, Vic, step up. Support the brothers.
What do you think about Diamond and his new PO officer? How's this going to play out? Annoying, new, level of authority,
so much other stuff. I've seen this PO. We don't know how this story goes. Kill the PO. Like, we ain't got time to be dealing with this. We ain't got time to be taking random drug tests. We ain't got time for you to pop up at the barbershop all the time and associated with known felons. We ain't got time for none of that. Just kill the PO. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Like, it's just another annoyance. I think power has to give you the cop or the PO officer that just becomes an annoyance to a character.
Definitely.
And this is Diamond's turn.
Yep.
My guy showed up in the Sears special the shirt with the multicolored tie. Like I don't know what it is about that automatically says I'm a criminal. Like you got. I would expect a Diamond to understand you need to show up and assert yourself by dressing in a powerful manner.
Yeah,
that's it. It is what it is. Unfortunately, police officers, lawyers, judges all respect you by the way you dress. And if you come across as dressing like a criminal, I'm gonna treat you like a criminal. Yeah. And PO officers are all power hungry people. Yeah. Like that's what they are. Like, and of course here he's gonna, well, the last one got eliminated because he was on CBI's payroll and I'm not gonna do this and all this stuff. All you did to me was sign your death certificate. Like, okay, so I need to kill you. Great. Yeah. Gotcha. Not a problem, my guy.
Even with that
good night.
And it's gonna be interesting because Diamond ain't the one to do it, but Tommy would. Tommy, once this guy becomes a threat to the CBI business, Tommy's gonna take things into his hand and cancel Christmas. Y'all know what it is.
Yeah. Tommy would kill anybody if it messes with his business.
Yeah.
Except for Ghost Liliana.
Vic and Claudia deciding to work together. Well, what do we think about the future of the siblings, the sibling Flanagans, and how this is going to change a lot of the dynamics from the first season?
Yeah, Claudia's a hothead, and it would never work. It was never going to work between her and Vic, any form of business relationship, because in the end, Claudia still believes that she should be over Vic. She still believes like I'm better than him. Yeah. And you can't have anything work when you think you're better than the other party. Where you believe that like they're leaving me out just because I'm a woman, not because I'm not stronger than him. So I've always believed, and I think I said in season 1 that I believe that Claudia thinks Vic is weak.
Yeah.
And this was her throwing him a bone. Yeah. But when Tommy took away that bone, now we see her floundering, and it was never going to work between her and Vic because Vic wants honesty from his sister, and she can't give him that.
Yeah,
it's her fatal flaw is that she can't give up that. Yeah, and that's why we see their dynamic go the way it goes by the end of this episode. In that conversation, like, you're screwing me over, because Vic always had issues with trusting her. Yeah. And Claudia has issues with respecting him. This is not like two siblings who are on the same page. These are two siblings still fighting for the love of one man. Yeah. And not knowing how to deal with that fight for the love of their father. And instead, they beef. I've been there. I got siblings. Like, I do that all the time.
Yeah.
Like, if I need to prove myself, look, if I gotta screw you over in the process to prove myself, I'm gonna prove myself. And that's what these two are doing to one another here. No matter how much drinking a shot of whiskey can make you think that we're on one accord.
Yeah, I mean, also too, let's just call it what it is. Like, he's unhinged right now, smoking, drinking, and his feelings are hurt. So I just think that it's really hard to have any true level of investment in terms of what he can contribute, knowing that like he can't even keep himself together. So it's just her probably using this in some level of collateral at some point. But later on, Vic does what Vic does, and recants the whole agreement. So what are we even talking about here? Where do we go now, man? So another thing, just to kind of talk about it too. You touched upon it, but like Vic very vividly defined Walter and that display in front of Claudia. Do you think Claudia is making anything of that, or what's your thoughts with it?
I'm just going to assume we already know Claudia's feelings about everything as it pertains to Vic. Yeah. Like, Claudia's making a thing out of anything as it pertains to Vic.
Yeah.
That's just the way she is. Like, we saw it so much in season 1 that I think it's just going to continue this season.
Yeah.
it all ventures back to me that I don't believe Claudia respects Vic in any way.
Yeah.
And because she doesn't, it comes across every interaction between them two. I think it's a hint of her not respecting him involved in it.
And a lot of envy.
That's why she doesn't respect him. Because again, she feels she should be in his place.
Mm-hmm.
Like, here you go. Another analogy. Vic is Benny Siegel. Claudia is Kanye West. And she's like, nigga, I'm way better than him. How you passing a rock to him? Like, I'm way better. When Kanye did Big Brother, and he literally says it in the song, like, man, I understand, like, you know, Benny style is more of a layup and I'm more of a free throw. But damn it, I'm better than him.
Yeah.
That's Claudia and Vic.
Yeah.
And Walter's Jay-Z. Trying to pass the rock on to what he sees as the next, when actually everyone else sees that his daughter is the one who should be next. But he also understands nobody in his organization is going to respect a woman.
Yeah, that's going to be a factor.
Dublin is not progressive.
Yeah, I think the moment that Brendan finds out,
in charge there, none of that.
Yeah, I think the moment that Brendan finds out about what Claudia is doing is going to be a problem. Let's not forget. We're going to get to Dahlia in a minute. So we get Tommy giving JP a new bar. What do you think is the implications of this? I mean, this should just be a
this is back to being a laundromat. That's the first thing I thought. Tommy like, no. But also, I want to say season 1, Tommy mentioned doing something like this for JP.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
JP wasn't for it, but I mean, Tommy's Tommy, and we gotta understand this is his replacement for Ghost, and he's gonna do whatever he can, and JP's a civilian.
Yeah.
So Tommy's like, man, whatever I can do to make your life better and clean my money, I'm all for that.
Yeah.
And JP has a track record of being able to run things of this nature. Yep. So it only makes sense that this would be the move for Tommy. I did love the scene between them two because it just came across as so genuine. JP's reaction to Tommy throwing him the keys.
Yeah.
Or JP saying, no, black people don't sneak into places like this. We get shot.
Meanwhile, the feds get Tommy's fingerprint off his car, and we know that ultimately gets him identified as the person that they thought was dead but is alive. So we'll just go forward with that.
Is so
anyway, go ahead.
I say so many ramifications to that. Because technically, if Tommy's alive, everyone in New York is now looking for him all over again.
Yeah, he's back in the system.
The moment they ran his prints, everything is back on again. Yeah. Everything that he killed himself to get it. We literally just saw him kill himself in the last Ghost to erase any chance of season 1 of Ghost, to erase any chance of them knowing that Tommy was alive.
Yeah.
And now that you know Tommy's alive, Blanca's gonna show up. Just Blanca's gonna show up.
Yeah. Claudia goes to see Claudia goes to see Dr. Williams, and just it's all Dahlia talk at this point, and Claudia wants to get things going. Dr. Williams at this point says she doesn't want to be involved with it because Claudia and she also says too, like, what do you need me for at this point? But Claudia is just trying to get things back to how things were going in season 1, and Dr. Williams is just not for it. And this is just the beginning to us seeing Claudia really display in her unhingedness once again. This is when Jenard goes to see Chewie, but we already talked about that, the deal that they cut. Jenard being able to display his hoop skills. Jenard now
the Jeezy deal. I almost thought he was going to say, man, you get it for 17.5. Like, damn.
Then Jenard goes to see, as I mentioned, the new character. No, not yet. Yeah. Now we're going to see the new character we mentioned earlier in Miguel, who is well, Jenard lets him know that it's going to be a little bit short. I don't know why anybody would go. First of all, it's not like it was due that day. He had to the end of the week, but he decided to, I guess, in good faith, say,
"Yes,
I'm going to be late."
That's something you need to say up front. If you wait until the money is due to say that you're going to be late, this, people, is why you don't take work on consignment. If you ain't got the clientele, you do not take it on consignment. And you damn sure ain't going to come to me on Friday, the day is due, to tell me you're going to be late with my money. Because at that point, you do end up in a chair. So Jenard just thought, like, if I get out in front of it, I'll be fine. But my guy, you know the deal. And I can't let you slide, because if I let you slide, the next nigga gonna slide. That's the way drug dealers think here. This is the way people who dabble in this business think. If I let you slide and it gets out, I let you slide. Other people are gonna think it's okay also. So instead, I prefer to make an example out of you, as Miguel is doing in the scene when Jenard walks in. So everyone understands this is what happens when you're late.
Yeah. So then, like I mentioned earlier, so after Jenard and the Treasons crew, then comes CBI and Diamond, and Tommy. They're being brought in. Diamond has a one-on-one with Miguel, and sends Tommy to the back room, and Tommy gracefully says okay, but he goes in the back room, and that's when we're introduced to another new character in MIREYA, who is Miguel's sister, who doesn't live there, as he's mentioned. And Tommy clearly is googly eyed over her the moment he sees her. And she lets him know, like, listen, you're just like all of them and whatnot. And which is true. I don't know why Tommy bold-faced lies to her in terms of just coming across as if like this isn't just, as if he's not a habitual like what do you call it? Just somebody who just constantly always has to be in love, and just as soon as he see a girl, he goes crazy. And I'm sure he has nice qualities. Tommy's a good guy when it comes down to it, but he goes about this the same way. Here's my question I want to throw to you. MIREYA makes it very clear that she doesn't want anybody in that life, that she has a legitimate career going for her. She obviously is there to give her brother his medicine. He's diabetic.
He got the sugars. Yeah,
he got the sugars. And she's just doing what she does, and to me, I'm trying to figure out that, number one, Tommy's still grieving Liliana. There was no real love interest there, but he did love her. We're gonna call it what it was. He definitely was loving Gloria, who's also gone. And also, wasn't him and Claudia kind of like?
No. It was more business than anything with Claudia. There was no
but it felt
connection.
It felt kind of like it could have like did something. I don't know, but anyway, he's born her. What's your thoughts about this character, and what's your thoughts about Tommy being Tommy?
I love the way we're introduced to MIREYA as a character in this episode, because one, the point I put you in the back room, that anyone else can come in the back door to this back room is hilarious. But when we meet this character and we see the connection, we see Tommy immediately hit on this character. At that point, we understand just how important this character is going to be moving forward, because he ain't just hitting on somebody that's going to go away next week. So I did like the introduction of them two. I did like her laying the groundwork up front. Like, I don't deal with people that deal with my brother. I don't deal with people in this lifestyle. That's not me. And Tommy automatically seen that as a challenge, because this is kind of the way he was introduced to Gloria, same way. And he saw it as a challenge. And I think Tommy is that person again. I believe Tommy needs to always be in love. Whenever Tommy's in love, we get a reckless, caring Tommy, and that's highly important to him. So I love the way the character was introduced. As it pertains to them ever being together, no, nothing ends up for any woman good when you go with Tommy. But the dynamic with her being his connect's sister is a huge problem.
Huge problem. And let's talk about
that's
it.
a relationship you should not start, as Diamond warned up front.
Yeah.
Plenty of people in the graveyard who did this before.
Yeah.
Like that.
I mean,
that box is dangerous. Stay away.
Yeah. I mean, because this ain't Fast and Furious. He's not about to brine and all of a sudden just Dom's just gonna be like, you know what? You could be my sister. After he tried to kill him the first Fast and Furious.
Hey, what you gonna do if Miguel say and Tommy and Maria get together and like, now you're family.
It just can't go that way, but it actually really could go that way.
and Tommy drives almost identical car to Dom, so there's no telling how this can go.
Boy, you know what? I think you're right. We're just gonna call it as it is now. Every single time we see Maria, we're gonna call her Mia, and every single time we see Tommy, we're gonna call him Brian. And every time we see Miguel, we're gonna call him Dom.
I don't know what it is.
This is for family
with Latino women, or in Fast and the Furious, white women playing Latino women that are attracted to white men in muscle cars. I don't know what it is about that, Joe.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna go through a bunch of things because we like to try to keep it an hour, and we try to get back in the groove here. And I had all my announcements in the beginning, so let's get into some of the important things here. So Tommy has an idea about, because now that they met to connect, they want double, and he's trying to figure out how they're gonna move weight, because Diamond's like, wait a minute, what? And he says no problem. His nephew's good with numbers, which he goes to him to consult him about what they can do, and D-Mac agrees to help him sell drugs off the couch on the internet via TikTok. Here's what I gotta say about this. I do like that he appreciates D-Mac in this capacity.
Yeah.
I'm just curious why the first call wasn't towards Tariq.
Well,
I'm just curious.
Tariq is focused on Noma. Like, we ain't got time. Him and Braden can't sell drugs right now. They're on a run.
Yeah.
So Tommy's like, nope, I'm gonna leave you alone because I'm not messing with you. And D-Mac got this TikTok thing on lock. Niggas is dancing and emojis is telling them to sell drugs. Is this what y'all doing on TikTok?
Yeah, I'm confused. I definitely had questions. At one point I was like, ain't no way.
Man, I need to go on TikTok now and see, is this the way y'all like selling?
I know the feds on TikTok. Ain't no way. Ain't no way y'all niggas is dancing
and with emojis and it's telling them what street to come pick up rocks at. Wow. That nigga was beating his feet. He's like, oh man, nah, he beating his feet, but look at the emojis. The emojis are telling you where the drugs at. TCB playing in the background and everything.
Yeah, he inserts the quarters. Yeah, that go pick it up there. That's wild, bro.
Shout out to Surgeon Quarters. I used to get stuff from there at a really good price. Oh man.
It's I got no car. I gotta see how this plays out, but yeah.
Definitely, because it was funny. But again, it also shows the disconnect between the older generation and the younger generation, is that they're finding more creative ways to move product.
Yeah. Because
unless you are younger, would you actually know that those combination of emojis mean
hell no?
What exactly you had the slightest idea? It's these new kids and the way they use social media to move everything humanly possible. Like it's a hell of a thing to put on this show, because in that aspect, it's almost impossible to stop anything from moving. It is the next level of course correct.
Yeah.
Tariq and them use an app. These people are using the most popular social media app to move product.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So as he being going back really quick to Miguel who is one of the top, connects, one of the top dogs, especially being Latino in Chicago, brings another dynamic to the geography of all the different territories here. The one thing about this is with him seeing CBI moving in the way they moving, and then looking at what Jenard and how there's obviously turmoil there. Clearly. He's been kind of calm, cool, and collected. He's doing top dog stuff. We got him had the dude in the chair and beating him down and whatnot. But he seems pretty reasonable. With Tommy coming in with clear goals to dominate all of Chicago, where do we see this Miguel character going forward? And then you add the whole monkey wrench of an issue with potentially Tommy having eyes for MIREYA. Where do you see this character overall this season kind of playing out?
I think we're about to see a different version of the Connect that we're not accustomed to seeing in Power. Because one, he's a different type of person. One, the point you gave him backstory, which we don't normally get with Connects, is extremely interesting here. And he's not a hothead when it comes to business. Like, he's very sensible on everything. Because if he was a hothead, he would have said, nah, kill the white boy. Why is he even here? Instead, it's more reasonable. Him and Diamond, I think that conversation between him and Diamond showed a lot about the person that Miguel is. And I'm looking forward to exactly what they're planning on doing with this character. Because I'm hoping this is not a one season type of Connect.
Okay.
And also him going to war with the Serbs. And he was very reasonable about that also by saying, look, we're both moving product. Like we're competitors. That's the issue here. So he comes across as reasonable, which we have not seen on Power, a reasonable Connect.
Yeah.
They don't exist.
I will note one thing about this character in terms of the description. They say he's never been in a long-term relationship because he lives to make money. That's going to be interesting.
Wait, hold up. Before I know you're making a point, but when you said he's never been in a long-term relationship because I thought you was about to say lives life 1 mile at a time. I literally thought.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah.
I'm coming next week. I'm coming with all the Fast and Furious puns. Y'all be ready for this. It's on now. It is on. It is on.
Oh man. Yeah. But yeah, that is a very interesting. The point you even bring up him being in love is an interesting premise, because that means we're gonna see a lot more of him. And who will be the love interest for him? Is it Claudia?
I don't know, but I see this, and I think that may really take this top dog in a direction that puts him in uncharacteristic, makes him make uncharacteristic decisions and choices because of it. It's Power. Everybody falls in love, so we'll see.
Hey, look at Jenard.
Right, going to Jenard. Jenard, as you mentioned earlier. Well, the streets already heard that he's struggling with money. He goes and see another new character, Shanti Showstopper Page, who not only runs a gym, who formerly a prize fighter, but now runs drugs through this gym and is not shy about it. Everybody in there already knows what's up. Jenard and her clearly had a past. She clearly loves Jenard, even though Jenard tried to play it off initially. Jenard also has a boxing background, so we obviously know that the two of them got this little love connection, not only for the love of sports, but for the love of the game here. So, I think this is a character that, as much as we talk about leveling Tommy, levels Jenard. Do we see Jenard wising up with somebody like Shanti in his corner? What is your thoughts about this character? What do you think about them We think about her loaning him or giving him the money, and the whole idea that they end up smashing later on in the episode. What was just your whole thoughts about this character introduction, and how does she play a part?
First, in the form of grounding Jenard, I don't see that because of just the character that Jenard is. I don't see that. But it's really giving Quincy and Monica vibes. That's what I felt as I was watching this, is like they're clearly about to check up the ball for love here. And I didn't know if it was going to happen in the ring or what was going to happen here. But clearly we understood her feelings for Gerard by her big smile as she's passing him drug money. Like, she couldn't help but smile at him. So we understood that they would have some form of connection here, but I don't think she's the grounding force for him. Because in the end, I think he just views her as someone to have sex with.
Maybe
and she wants more.
So she proves his keep. I mean, listen, here's my thing.
Yeah.
Jenard tried his hand with Claudia. Didn't happen.
Yep.
Tried his hand with pretty much
Liliana.
I think Liliana. I think even I forgot about Liliana. Yeah. That's the one. So like Jenard ain't nothing but a typical guy that and guys, y'all all know how we are. You see somebody that you think is attractive, and then the next thing is we both like the same thing, or we both do the same thing. That makes us a perfect match. And that's what Jenard is all for. Jenard's like, oh, Liliana's cute. We both sell drugs. She'll be work. Oh, Claudia's cute. We both sell drugs. We'll work. And I think this is a case of, while he may not have had her in his eyesight, I think at some point it's going to be one of those like, yeah, your perfect girl's been in your face the entire time. You just been playing around because she actually throwing it at you. You know, it's what us guys do. We realize that, like, oh shit, I messed around and fumbled the bag. Like the one I should have had was in my face the entire time. I'm out here chasing the wrong ones, and the ones I should have been with was right here the entire time. That's where I see this going, because not only is she running an operation at a gym, a dual operation, getting folks training, making folks get their bag in that route, getting the drug money, to the point that she loaned Jenard, the former head of CBI, and Jenard couldn't even deny he needed the money. He looked like, oh damn, man, she got me. You know how bad that must hurt a man's ego that was the top of one of the top gangs.
That's crazy. That's the move that Kim Kardashian pulled to Kanye when he made Life of Pablo and said he was broke. And Kim was like, look, let me give you this 50 mil so we can live a life carefree. She did the same thing by saying, I heard you're short on money. That's all I got, but it's something.
Yeah.
And he ain't say, nah, shorty, I'm good. He was like, I can't believe he told you about this. Like, he took the money. He took the money and then had sex with her. So again, it's different when you had that ride or die in your corner. And that's what she's coming across as Jenard's ride or die. Like in the end, even when he originally approached her and she said, I'm riding with you. I'm not riding with Diamond. I'm riding with you. You already know this. That lets you know, like, her feelings for him was there. Plus, she was smiling way too hard, Joe. Yeah. Way too hard.
This actor name is Adrienne Walker. She fine as hell, and I can't believe that they already hit that stars clause on her already. Man, they pulled the trigger quick, and I ain't mad. Thank you, stars. Thank you, stars.
Hey, listen. It's about time y'all gave us a very attractive, dark-skinned woman in the scene of this nature, because she's bad. Listen, I will be all Jenard in this scene, and that don't happen often. That whole process don't pop into my head often.
So let's talk about the big news that comes out with Claudia and Dahlia getting on the internet, which virtually makes Dr. Lauren Williams useless, which Claudia goes to kill her later. Who leaked the formula? Because everybody knows it wasn't Dr.
It was Tommy.
Well, I was gonna say, well, it certainly wasn't Dr. Laura Williams. You think Tommy? I think Vic.
Oh,
I think Vic.
Because remember what Tommy said when Diamond told him Dolly was back on the streets, and Tommy's like, oh, they were talking, and Tommy, oh, you know what? I got a way to solve this problem.
True
and
that.
Tommy's way to solve that problem was to put the
it.
formula on the street.
True that.
Because at that point,
that quick little rooftop scene,
yep. And he said, or as Claudia said, once the formula on the streets, nobody wants something that everybody can make.
Yeah.
You're no longer rare. Like, that's it. That's all it took.
Yeah.
He erased her leverage immediately.
Yeah.
And he did it because he was no longer moving Dahlia. So why would it matter to Tommy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now she's lost.
Yeah.
Because now all she has is weight. Baby, everybody got weight.
Yep. So how Claudia gonna bounce back here? That's the next question. And thank you for correcting me there. I totally forgot about that rooftop scene that quick. I'm already thinking that Vic trying to work against his sister that quick, but I forgot about that.
That's the interesting thing is how does Claudia bounce back?
Yeah.
Because Dahlia wasn't initially her idea in the beginning anyway.
Yeah.
She got brought in on it.
Yeah.
And
I
think she's stuck in the same situation Jenard is stuck into. How can you prove your worth when you have nothing to do it with?
Yeah.
We understand business-wise she is smart, but we also understand that no one's going to respect what you say. You can only win with original ideas. What is there left?
Yeah.
For Claudia to push.
And I think that this is going to put that Brendan Doyle character to not only, as I said, coming in doing some I keep forgetting the word. What's the word? It's coming in.
Hey yo.
Whatever it said, when you come in, when they bring you in to just analyze the business and whatnot.
I'm a consultant, but I'm about to
consultant.
Treat you like,
thank you.
I'm about to treat you like Cameron treats Mace, which you keep on asking me. Hey man, when they come in, I'm about to. Hey, yo, pause.
The fact that he's doing consultant work here, but I think also because like while operations should appear to be normal in terms of how things, even though that they're not thriving and things are clearly not doing good financially, I think we're going to see Claudia get so desperate because she's put in a situation. Not only is she trying to prove to herself, and also still trying to stay relevant. I think it's going to make her do something that's going to really jeopardize everything for the Flynns, and Brendan's going to end up getting a whiff of what she's up to, and that's not going to be a good look. To hear that she's, in America, in Chicago, and she's stepping out of line, which should not be the case. Walter should have his siblings or his kids in order, and the siblings are dysfunctional, out of line, and out here just doing whatever they want. And I think Claudia is going to end up falling casualty to that. That's what I think. I think Claudia is going to end up doing something that's going to cost her life.
Cost her life? Really?
Cost her life.
Oh man, I don't necessarily see it going that far of costing her life, but I can see Claudia pushing the envelope.
Yeah,
because I don't think she's willing to go that far to prove that she should be the number 2.
Yeah,
I think she'll go up to the line of doing it. Clearly with the doctor, when she executed the doctor the way she did in this episode, it shows that she can also be a bit unhinged.
Yeah,
because she never questioned. Amazingly, other people knew the formula of Dahlia. Tommy knew the formula of Dahlia. Did you think he was going to let you push his weight when he's not moving it? It will make no sense for him to do that when you are a threat to him.
Yeah,
but I don't necessarily see her going as far as risking her well-being to prove that she's better than Vic and that she deserves the respect. That's I don't see her ever going that far with it.
Yeah,
I can see her attempting to find what's the next move, what's the next hustle. I can almost see her, and I think this is an angle they may go down the road with, of her taking Jenard up on his offer.
Could be.
And her bankrolling him and saying, not a problem, I'll bankroll you, but I I want a percentage of your business that's going to be something stupid. And Jenard's going to agree to it because he has no other option but to agree to it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be based off of him needing to give Miguel money. Because clearly at this point, he still can't pay the money. The only way he can pay the money is if Claudia agreed to bankroll him. And I think she's going to agree to bankroll him. She's going to become his new partner. And then that creates a dynamic of Claudia and Jenard versus Tommy and Diamond.
Yeah. All right, let's go through a couple other little things really quick as we start to wrap up this episode. So the Serbs did roll up on Tommy and Diamond. Tommy put his foot down. Diamond just kind of let him do his thing.
Put his foot down.
Tommy gets a call that something happened with his family. He steps off an emergency only to find out that D-Mac was shot. Excuse me.
Not that it was shot. He got an infection from his wound.
Yes, thank you. And he's at the hospital and coincidentally once again runs into MIREYA. Just recently ran into her at the bus stop, and she takes the bus and didn't want a car. Standing
on the bus stop, sipping on the lollipop. Clearly, she was giving all of the LL Cool J Round the World Girl vibes. At the bus stop.
But
Tommy should have said, "Your man must think it's safe for you to travel this way." That's all Tommy should have said.
But she at the hospital, and she does Tommy a solid by getting D-Mac in, and all those other folks are looking like, what the fuck? I've been waiting
all those other black folks are looking. So all it took was a white man to get up to tell you to see somebody else. It ain't realistic because some black woman should have been like, bitch, really? All it took was this white man for
in
you
Chicago
to see
at that, you already,
boy?
Wildness, complete wildness. And then Diamond's getting his ass whipped by the Serbs at the same time too. So there's a lot of things kind of happening. Jenard. Yeah, I don't know why I keep getting their names, but
I don't know why you want Diamond to be hurt so bad.
I don't.
I think you know what it is? It's the Jordan 13s he had on in season 1 when he got released from prison. You like, nigga, you need to be hurt a little bit.
He had the 13s. He had the Diamond had like the 22s or something like that. He was way up in the numbers.
Ain't no nigga wearing no 22s. They were never cool to wear.
He had the red 22s when he came out. I remember them.
Audience, let us know, because I don't know.
He had the red 22s.
Anything past the 17s, you Obama. So I don't think Diamond had on the 22s. Anything past the
wait. He had the red 21s. The 21s is what he had. The red 21s.
Who the fuck is wearing
Diamond was it
really?
Listen, we had a long talk about this. He was in jail. You know, when folks are in jail, they missed a whole wave of house style. Don't listen.
He had them jumps on before he went to jail.
Don't matter.
He got arrested in them jumps. Who's wearing 22s back? 21s back.
I mean, at a point, it was all about having the next and highest number. Plus, I don't know how people in Chicago dress, so it could just be a thing. But I got them joints. I got them joints, and I don't know if I ever would wear them. Yeah, they're not bad. Oh. They're definitely not bad. The 22s are bad. They're bad. They're absolutely bad.
I stopped at the 17.
But listen, hold on. But before I even catch some heat for that, let's not forget that there was a period where no one wore the Jordan 1s. Because I remember y'all niggas. Because I had them when nobody wanted to wear them. Now all of a sudden, now look.
I had Jordan 1s.
Hype beast. Can't even get a pair now because everybody needs them joints.
But ain't nobody hype beast in the 21s. Ain't nobody.
And again, back in the day when it was just normal, just like it's a new Jordan, I'm getting them. That's all it was. And don't act like. And listen.
Niggas bought Team Jordans too. That don't make it.
Nah, never.
You never, dog. See, I was in middle school.
I played in Team Jordans.
The first Team Jordans came out, the all black ones with the white on both sides.
No,
them Jones was fire when I was in middle school.
Nope.
Everybody had to have them Jones, Joe. Everybody.
Nope.
Also, the golf Tiger Woods shoes. The first Tiger Woods shoes used by Nike with the spikes on them Jones.
Let me guess.
school
Let
along
me
with
guess.
Cool.
You had the Sean Carters and the G units.
Although I still got a pair of Sean Carters in my closet. Stop playing with me, Joe. I still got a pair of Sean Carters in my closet. Sean Carter's was the fake Gucci Jones, man. The originals, those is all fake Gucci shoes, man.
Nah,
Everybody had no one had genuineness though. Tank tops or nothing. All I support the 50th liquor. I support Branson. I support the champagne. I support the music. But I'm not standing no G unit to the shoes or tank tops. Nah.
Let me go through these last names. We gotta wrap this episode up now. So after D-Mac gets his very white privileged service at the hospital, we do see Tommy looking at MIREYA, obviously trying to thank her for what's happening. We see Kate also at the hospital as well too. So the family's good, only for MIREYA to get her butt smacked by this other guy. So she's clearly dating somebody, a very normal person outside of what all these other characters on this show is involved with. So we got another doctor or nurse, whatever you may be, nurse practitioner. Yeah, something. He could be something, but either way, he's in the medical field, which is the same as what she does. But anyway, Tommy goes back to see Diamond because he's seen the text saying they need to talk. Jenard is paranoid at home. Doorbell rings. He grabs his gun. Shanti comes over. I guess now that he's got his ass beat and now he's paranoid, he's like, oh man, guess I do need to have some comfort, need somebody to cuddle with tonight. So there's that, but she's there. And yeah, they get the rocking and whatnot. But other than that, the last thing it is that I forgot to even mention that Diamond was telling Tommy about Chewie, and now he's rocking with Jenard, and he tells him to not do nothing, but Tommy on principle knew nah, that's not how we rock. We gotta I gotta make a statement. And all the special agent folks in the room, they realize they need to open up a task force because Tommy is the center, the nucleus of all the operations of everything that's happening in Chicago. They say if they take down Tommy, they'll be able to get everybody else. And then last but not least, though, we do get Paulie talking to Walter about the funds and whatnot and giving him an outcome. So, there's that. And the last shot of the episode is Tommy killing Chewie, and that's just what it is. So, is there anything else to cover with this episode? I know we had a lot going on, folks. I got to get back in groove, man. It's been a while that I had these recaps, man, but it's all good. Y'all know what it is. We'll still be here.
Hey, look. Hey, that bus because y'all not getting these hour and 30-minute Jones every week, but we'll get to you the first episode. It's a lot to bring back because it's a reintroduction to these characters. But no, there's nothing else to bring up. I think the more interesting part is Tommy still being a hothead, but him also fully understanding that disloyalty can only be dealt with in death. Like, I can't let you live and let other folks think what you did is cool. And I'm just super surprised that Diamond's reaction was basically let him go. Like, I think it shows that Diamond is becoming soft.
Well, Diamond was always like that. It was always Jenard pushing the envelope in terms of we need to show force and brutality.
Is it Diamond becoming soft, or is it Diamond coming out of prison became softer because he was in jail?
That's all Diamond was saying. Jenard was saying last season.
Yeah,
right. And I just think that Diamond knows how to gain respect without it being violent, and I think that's just another thing that it's super consistent with the character throughout now 2 seasons. So like, I expect Diamond to respond in the way he did. Now the question is, the streets do respect him. We talked about it already. The folks know who the top person of CBI is. The feds know that CBI is still the big organization in Chicago. I think Diamond is trying to figure out how to balance being the head of the big organization with all the attention on them, but also staying out of the spotlight, staying under the radar, because from the PO side, he got to stay clean. And the streets get to talking just as quick as they find out that Jenard money funny right now.
Funny,
I think Diamond's like, yeah, we just got to show that we're a unit and we just doing what we doing without it being sloppy and messy. Tommy killing this person is clearly going to put attention right on CBI, and that's going to be interesting.
But the interesting part is the only way you can play the background is someone has to be the face.
Well,
so then that means Diamond has to step back and let Tommy do what Tommy does, because Tommy needs to become the face.
That's what he always wants to be.
Yeah, but I don't think he wants to play the back. That's been my thing with Diamond. I don't think he ever wants to be the background.
I think
when he wants to be the logical person. He's used to paying off a PO where he didn't have to be the background, but now he has to be the background. So that means anything Tommy wants, Tommy gets.
I think this is the opposite of Power, where Ghost was the face, Tommy was the background. I think we're going to see Tommy as the face, and we're going to see Diamond as the background. And how does that look different? And I think by the end of the season, we're going to determine which Tommy is more effective. In the face, in the spotlight, or in the background as the muscle, as the street smart person, you know, as the hot head, whatever it may be. I think it's going to be interesting to see which one of these positions fits them best. Because as we mentioned,
and I'll say this also, I 1000% agree with Tommy. He had to die. You had no other choice. Your level of disrespect is met with my level of force every time. I cannot allow you to do what Chewie did and live. There's no way that can be allowed.
And you know what? And Jenard and Diamond could have been looking at it in the sense of like, oh, he'll be back.
Yes. I think that's the way he was looking at it.
And when he comes back, I'll take care of it.
Yeah. And Tommy was more like, yeah, we're not even giving him the opportunity to come back. He became disloyal.
Yeah.
The moment you become, again, I think it's a dynamic that we don't get to see a lot on shows or representation of Black urban audiences, but we get it all the time in Italian films when it becomes to the mob. If you betray them, there is no coming back. Yeah. They're going to kill you and move on to the next person. And that was Tommy's thinking is, oh no, you can't live after you did that. Nope, you got to die and we'll be fine after that.
Yeah. Yep.
Send a message, basically.
Yep. So fans, audience, our people, y'all let us know y'all thoughts about tonight's episode, the season premiere of Power Book for a Force. This episode is titled Tommy's Back. Y'all let us know y'all thoughts about tonight's episode. Y'all let us know y'all predictions about the season. Let us know all of that in the description or in the comments below, whatever. And beyond that, we'll be back each and every week with our recap after the episode an hour after the episode airs. And then, as I mentioned, we got that live show for you all each and every week, where we will have special guests from some of your other favorite power coverage folks, content creators and critics and journalists, all that other good stuff, personalities, whatever you want to call them.
Get to see the other side. Get to see the other side of us as we possibly dig into the critic hat that we talk about all the time that all don't get to see, but also shoot the shit with people, because that's the fun part of this is everything is basically a conversation, and we get to bring other people into our conversation, which I think is something you all will greatly appreciate, especially in the absence of a content available to produce right now.
Yep. And if I got any other ideas, as I mentioned, get in the comments, let us know what you all would like us to do. One thing I won't be doing is dancing on TikTok for you all, so you can forget it.
Hey, fuck anybody who think that's gonna happen. Let me tell you this: I am not on the TikTok. I don't know shit about a TikTok. I'm a 40-plus-year-old Black man. I don't know anything about the TikTok. Nah, we can sit in this joint, chop it up, have a couple drinks, whatever. You never know. We may get some more in-person content with us and some of these guests, and do some shit that's gonna be chill and cool. to give y'all more perspective on these episodes, which I think for our audience, you all who we absolutely love that tunes into us every week, I think y'all appreciate that more than anything else.
Yeah.
And hell, maybe out the blue, maybe we'll invite some of y'all on this joint to have a conversation with us about the episode. I'm all for some random ass people talking about power and what y'all think about it, because some of y'all, and
I digress,
what y'all think is gonna happen is absolutely amazing to me. I don't know how y'all be pulling this out y'all head.
They already said Ghost name twice, so they already know Ghost is coming back, plus what Omari
we already know.
said. So
Omari just waiting for the check to clear.
Yeah.
If that check cleared if the check cleared before they stop shooting force, you never know. You never know.
Anyway, that'll do it for us. We'll catch you all back next week. Thank you for tuning in for this one. And get in the comments. Y'all let us know your thoughts. And we'll be back next week. Thank y'all for watching, folks.